Thank you, and good afternoon, and welcome to the Board of Elections and Registration Board meeting. Today is April 13th. We will call the meeting to order at 5 o'clock p.m. If you are not speaking, please mute your phone, staff members, and board members. And with that, can I get the approval of the agenda with a motion?
Madam Chair, this is Maurice Hurry. I make a motion that we approve the agenda as provided.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Any nays? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. Next is citizen comment.
Madam Chair, we had no citizens report the wish to present citizen comments at this meeting.
Okay, thank you, Director Kidd. Next is the approval of minutes for March 9th meeting. I may have a motion and a second for approval.
Madam Chair, I motion to approve them.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Next are felon hearings.
There have been no felon letters transmitted at this time.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Director Green. Next is office operations report.
Office operations report will consist of the following. It will begin with Mr. Malcolm Unvala.
Last month, we conducted a town hall to educate voters on legislative updates and policies that affect elections and registration. This meeting included an update from Representative Kimberly Alexander from the 66th District.
Thank you, Malcolm.
Mr. Filbert Smith.
In partnership with the Board of Elections and other cities.
1 second, Filbert. Please mute your mics if you're not speaking. Mr. Smith.
Okay. In partnership with between other Board of Election and other civic groups, that's what I'm trying to say. We are preparing voting equipment to present to the Douglas County High School along with a voter registration event. This will be the first of several outreach events this year with the Douglas County Schools.
We will now have a follow-up presentation from our elections associate, Ms. Janet Swift.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chairman, board members. I am Janet Swift, the Connection on Social Action and Advocate for Social Justice Committee Chairman for Sigma Omega Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, serving the Douglas County community since 1990. I bring you greetings on behalf of our president, Mrs. Nia Brown, and our more than 300 members. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk with you today about the events that Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority is collaborating with the Board of Elections and voter registration and the Deltas League. The events are as follows. April 19, 2023, we will host a voter registration and mock election at Douglas County High School. May 17th, 2023, we will host a voter registration drive and mock election at Chapel Hill High School. Saturday, June 17th, 2023, we may host a voter registration drive at the Juneteenth celebration. However, we're pending confirmation on that. We will host a voter registration and mock election drives at Alexander Heights High School and Lithia Springs High School in the fall, just pending the date confirmations on those events. And September 19th, 2023, National Voter Registration Day. We will host a voter registration drive. Board of Elections will host a poll worker retention and poll worker hiring event in preparation for the upcoming 2024 election cycle. The event location and time is to be determined. We look forward to partnering with the Board of Elections and their staff on these community initiatives. Any questions? I thank you for letting me talk with you today and talk about the collaborations that we're going to have with the Board of Elections and voter registration.
Thank you, Ms. Swift.
The next Board of Office Operations report will come from Mr. Cameron Fair.
We're working with Mount Carmel Elementary School for their Career Day program, presenting election and registration activities to the future voters, demonstrating our office operations and how they can be engaged going forward.
September, when is that?
April 20th. April 20th.
Thank you.
Back to Mr. Malcolm Mbalo.
On April 25th at 6 p.m., our office will be participating in the Douglas County Citizens Academy program. We will be explaining the nature of elections work as well as providing an opportunity to answer any questions about the process. This is an event that required advanced registration and applications are no longer being accepted. But anybody who's interested, any Douglas County citizens who are interested, can reach out to the Intergovernmental and Constituent Services Department of Douglas County. And you can find a link to that on the county website under External Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Mbalo. Mr. Smith.
Douglas County will be hosting a knowing training on Tuesday, April 25th at 10 a.m. at Lithia Springs Senior Center. At least 20 counties will be in attendance, and we continue to hear from others. The primary purpose of this training is to discuss the implementation and use of ePulse. ePulse is the state-sanctioned administrative system that all counties are required to use to manage their electronic poll books.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Griffin.
In months like this, without active elections, we make a considered effort to expand our voter outreach activities and inform our holistic approach to elections to the public.
The last of our office operations report is the fact that the national emergency authorization that this office has been conducting meetings virtually ended on April 11th. Therefore, the next regularly scheduled board meeting will take place in person at the elections office. Once again, our next regularly scheduled board meeting will take place at the elections office in person. Our board meetings are the second Thursday of the month. So for the month of May, that will be May the 11th. This concludes office operations report at this time.
Thank you, Director Kidd and all staff. Are there questions for the board? Okay, so hearing none, we will now go into old business.
The old business will begin with Mr. Filbert Smith.
The state informed us back in January that we will be required to participate in a software update for the Dominion Democracy Suite. We continue to follow up with the state to learn a date, and as of yet, there is no date for the update that is yet to be that has been confirmed.
And what is the training exactly again?
The training for the ePulse will be on April 25th.
No, for the Democracy Suite,
the democracy, we're still waiting for the state to give us a date on that.
And what would the training be?
No,
It won't be the training. They will update all of our
Okay.
election equipment systems to
Okay.
the new operating system.
yeah.
Okay.
Let me offer clarification, Mr. Smith. Yeah, that two different events. The training that he spoke of is our EPOS system. Our EPOS is a system by which we manage our electronic poll books. That's the list of registered voters that are active in the county that participate in the electoral process. The second piece he was mentioning, the state is updating the Democracy Suite, which is the operating system of our BMD, our ballot marking devices. That date has yet to be set by the state. This is a mandatory update that all counties are going to be required to participate in, but we're seeking further information on when exactly that is going to happen, and we'll update this board. We are able to secure that date.
Thank you both for the clarity.
This concludes old business at this time.
Okay, thank you. You all are very busy.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. The next part of old business. The next part of old business is we have presented to this board in preparation for what we anticipate as potential areas that we needed to address from a policy perspective, a policy regarding voter registration challenges and candidate challenges. This is a matter that we envision emerging in the future, particularly during the 2024 presidential election cycle, and our office decided to draft a step-by-step procedure to be used moving forward, and would like this board to vote on approval of that policy. Each member of the board has been transmitted that policy previous to this meeting and have had a chance to review it. If there are any questions about the policy position, our legal counsel is on the call as well.
Are there any questions from the board members? Okay, hearing none, are we ready for the question? All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. So are there any names? Hearing none, the vote to approve policies regarding voter and candidate challenges, new policy has been approved.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This concludes old business at this time.
Thank you. Thank you all. Are there any questions before we move forward regarding any old business items? Okay, great. Next, we're going to new business.
The elections office will be presenting at the next Board of Commissioners work session, as well as the next Board of Commissioners meeting for final fund approval and allocation of resources for the election board to possibly relocate its offices outside of the Douglas County Courthouse. This meeting will take place on the next scheduled work session will take place on April the 18th at 10 a.m. Well, the meeting will take place on the 18th. The work session is the 17th at 10 a.m. So the work session is the Monday, and then the regular scheduled board meeting is the 18th. Both of those time frames will be 10 a.m.
Thank you.
This concludes new business at this time.
Okay, are there any questions for Director Beard?
Yeah, this is Chad. On the work section, will you be presenting at that as well?
Yes.
Okay, and the meeting, so you're presenting on both?
Yes, typically the way it works is the items that the Board of Commissioners is going to be discussing at their regular meeting. You have to present those items in the work session. They're talked through during the work session, and then the next meeting is an actual voting meeting where if there are funds that are discussed with this, they will be allocated at that time.
Okay, and then the outcome of this meeting, what's our expectation?
We have met with senior leadership of the county, and we hope that the county will move forward with what we perceive as a needed step of relocating the elections office so that we can better and more efficiently administer the election and registration process under one location and not be separated under the current 4 locations to which we operate out of at this time. So we're hoping for approval to move forward and for the funds to do so to be allocated.
Understood. Thank you.
Madam Chair, this is Maurice Hurd. I have one question for Director Kidd. Director Kidd, in the event you don't get the full funding, would you be able to operate out of the current office you have, and let's say you can consolidate the other 3 locations under one? Is that a feasible option also?
The current proposals before the board would be a complete relocation. I don't believe that it's going to be a piecemeal approach. I think it's going to be an either or type of thing.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Questions? Okay, thank you, Director Kidd and board members. Next, we will have board member concerns.
So this is Chad. If I may take the floor. I would just like to ask a question. I've let Director Kidd know I was going to ask this in this meeting, and in the interest of educating myself and hopefully those watching, would you mind just walking through the whole felon process and how that works from the Secretary of State to us, that communication, and what we do with that and how that's communicated, and then if we do get those letters, how they're handled, how those hearings are done, and just the overarching process, if you will.
Yes, sir. Well, each state in the union is allowed to set its own policy as it relates to elections and registration. The state of Georgia has decided to set the following policy. The Secretary of State's office, in partnership with the law enforcement agencies of the state, have granted the Secretary of State's office the approval to bump up our voter rolls against the rolls that they have of individuals that may have committed a felony. From this, the Secretary of State typically in a monthly fashion transmits to the Elections Department through our voter registration database a list of individuals that may have committed a felony of some sort or is possibly identified. They use specific criteria, including the name of the individual, we get the address, we get if they are in our system of the voter registration information that's attached to that individual. Once that record is transmitted to our office, we are required by law to issue that voter a letter stating that they have potentially been identified as having committed a felony in the state of Georgia. Once that letter is issued, they have 30 days from the issuance of that letter to challenge the subject matter of that letter. They can challenge the subject matter of that letter if they meet one of the following criteria. If they've completed all forms of restitution that's associated with the crime, that includes any monetary fines that's associated, any sentence of time that's associated, they have to be completely clear of every piece of that. If they are completely clear and they were completely clear in the time frame of attempting to register, they would just have to submit a new voter registration application to us to get back onto the voting rolls. But if they have not completed those restitution, they would the letter from us starts a 30-day clock. So essentially, they could either challenge that letter. If they do not challenge that letter, then after that 30-day period, they will be deleted from the voting rolls. That deletion lasts until that voter has completed any restitution that's associated with that felony conviction. Once that restitution or any time associated with it has been completed, that voter can then reapply to the voter registration rolls. But it is not an automatic process of this application onto the voter registration rolls. That voter has to submit a new application in one of the ways in which a voter would get on the voter rolls initially.
Excellent. I appreciate your help on that. And as far as internally how we handle that, once we send the letter out and at the end of that 30 days, then we clear them off of the rolls. Is that accurate?
Yes. But once that letter is transmitted, if that voter feels that this was transmitted in error, by that I mean that they have completed all restitution associated with it, or if they are trying to say that this is not them and they have been misidentified, the law allows them to contact the office to schedule a hearing before this board. If that voter did contact the office, we would go through the process of scheduling a special hearing to hear that case and to decide yay or nay as a board at that time, to which after the decision of the board, you all would instruct the office on how to proceed.
Understood. Okay, thank you very much. I've not been a part of that process, so I appreciate you sharing that with me. Thank you.
Did you mention the CIC report?
The report, yes, the name of the report that a voter can clear themselves if they feel that they have been misidentified is their GCIC report. This is a report that can be obtained through the Douglas County Sheriff Department or any police agency that is able to run a background check on an individual. The GCIC, that stands for Georgia Criminal History Investigative Report.
And I would assume that we could have that same report in that hearing, or somebody that could access that report as part of our hearing.
Yes, if we did schedule a hearing, we would access a copy of the individual in question's criminal history report to prepare for the hearing for the board as well.
Excellent. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Director Kidd, for that feedback. Any additional board member concerns? Okay, so hearing none, our next regular board meeting will be in person at the Douglas County Board of Elections and Registration Office at the Douglas County Courthouse on Thursday, May 11th at 5:00 p.m. So we hope you will join us there. At this time, we stand adjourned if there is no more business. Okay, we have a motion to adjourn at 5:23. It's been properly moved and seconded. All in aye.
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 Thank you all. Have a great evening.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.